What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me before I go too deep into this. I'm telling you, I took about so this past week has been absolutely crazy. Let me know before I go into all this. Can y'all hear me? Can everybody hear me in the chat? Can y'all let me know y'all can hear me? Cause I ain't going through this all again. Can y'all hear me? I need to know. Somebody let me know. Should be working. It says on my end that it's working. Can y'all hear me? All right, y'all can hear me. So this week has been crazy. Obviously, I just moved in with my girl and everything, so we were going through all that. Found out that I was allergic to cats, so I was sick for a couple days from that. Then I did catch the cove, unfortunately, so I am getting over that. It's been tough. Been a very tough week. But we are getting through it. I have been able to, kind of kick back and watch some football, so that's an amazing thing. B-More, are you trolling me, or can you really not hear? Because I might go crazy. This Yeti is very upsetting today. Let's put it that way. I just set up the whole studio, so we had to get some technical difficulties. But shout out to everybody that's in here, and shout out to everybody that was in here the first time we tried to do this. I'm not going through the whole intro again. We're gonna make it work, y'all. I promise we had an intro, so you'll see it at the end. But look, man, this Senior Bowl was dope, man. This was a nice Senior Bowl. I really do feel like there was a lot of good players out there. It kind of solidified my thought process that this is a very deep defensive draft. I really do believe that, because we didn't even see the premier guys out there. Like, don't get me wrong. These kids that we saw play yesterday are very good, but we're looking at day 3, maybe day 2 talent out there. So it's very... it makes me feel very excited about this draft. I really do feel like we can attack, what's been wrong with this team for a long time. So as far as the players go, I mean, look, I've been high on Travis Jones. Travis Jones had a monster of a week. Obviously had a decent game, but you just see him. He's a monster of a man. The guy is huge. I would love to see him on the Eagles. Obviously the MVP of the whole game, right? Let me go make sure I don't mess up his name, because I'll mess up everybody's name if you give me the chance. If you give me the chance, I will mess up everybody's name. Promise you that. Boye Mafi. It didn't even help me seeing it again. I thought maybe seeing it again it would help me again. But you saw, so this the overall thing is that you're seeing so much depth at the D line. You're seeing a lot of depth at the linebacking position. A lot of cornerbacks in this draft. And that's exciting to me. That's very exciting to me. Not just the defensive ends, but the defensive tackles that are able to make a name out there. And there's a lot of versatility out there. So I loved what I saw. I really did love what I saw as far as the defense went. I'm glad that it was a defensive battle. I know it was kind of a boring game to watch in terms of wanting to see guys like Malik Willis kind of go crazy, or, a Sam Howell go crazy, Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder, somebody being able to kind of put themselves over that hump. But even as far as the quarterback's prospects go, I think that that's going to be a very interesting conversation to be had for a while. We're going to be talking about these quarterbacks all off season. Somebody's going to, become the cream of the crop. Perion Winfrey was he was the MVP as well. I think they had 2 though. Oh, no. I'm capping. I read the wrong thing. You're right. My bad. I read the wrong thing. I have so many like tweets just screenshotted in my thing. I read the wrong thing. I saw a safety called Smoke Monday. What a name. Yeah, I saw that. Perion Winfrey's a dog too. There was so many guys on both sides of the line. I mean, the defense obviously kind of won the day, but at the end of the day, like, the offensive line had some good players out there as well. I mean, I'm excited. I think that this is what you wanted to see. I never really look at the Senior Bowl as like there's going to be 20 guys out there that are all first-round talents. I don't really think that there was... But you saw some really good depth pieces, some really good options in day 2 or late in the first round that maybe you didn't... I know Jermaine Johnson's getting some buzz now. I know there's a lot of guys out there getting some buzz now off of this. So I'm excited. I mean, this is what we're going to see. This is what we're going to see, Boomer Sooner. Is Smoke Monday Oklahoma, or is Perion Winfrey? To me, it shows they don't have to reach for a player. Exactly, Michael. Exactly. That's the whole thing, too, especially with this, front office, especially with, the history that we've had as far as the first couple rounds go. Last year was kind of an outlier, obviously, because we got a good player in the first round. We got a great player in the second round, but it was still more of what we do. We take risks. Like Landon Dickerson, as far as his play went, was never a risk. But we knew that there was health risks there. Obviously, he's been able to play, so that's a good thing. I'm not upset about it, but I want Malik Willis. I mean, Malik Willis really didn't show me nothing like that made me be like, damn, he's that dude. He can run. I think we all knew that he could run around. I think we all knew that he could make people miss in the backfield. But, you know, I don't think any quarterback really had a great game. I think that they all had, you know, decent weeks as far as practice went and everything. And obviously Malik Willis kind of headlined that. But I don't think any of these quarterbacks really showed me anything that I was like, wow, this guy is going to be something different. I think Malik Willis got a lot of arm talent. It's just he doesn't really know how to use it. Like, he doesn't really know how to harness that arm talent. I didn't get to see him, you know, drop it in a basket on somebody. I didn't get to see him take a little bit off and make throws like that. But there were a couple throws. There were a couple throws that were incompletions, excuse me, that you look at and you're like, damn, Malik Willis just got an arm on him. You know, Malik Willis is just able to put things on a rope to his wide receivers, which is just rare in the NFL. I mean, there's not many people with the arm strength that he has. Jermaine Johnson, he's definitely moving up boards. A lot of these defensive ends, a lot of these defensive players, in my opinion, are going to continuously move up boards. I don't think that this is an offensive draft. I think that you got some good offensive players. You got some good wide receivers out there. And you got a lot of depth at wide receiver this year, I feel, as well. But, you know, I'm not going crazy over any of these running backs. I'm not going crazy over any of these wide receivers. I'm not going crazy over, you know, any... I mean, the offensive line's pretty good. There's some good depth there. But as far as this draft goes, I think that I can feel confident saying go out there and take all your 11 picks I think we have and draft defense. That's all you have to do. Just draft defense. There doesn't have to be any type of thought behind it. Draft defense. That's all you got to do. Carson Strong at 19. You know, look, if you want to take a quarterback, it is what it is. I haven't seen them looking at Carson Strong, but Malik Willis is a Jalen Hurts with a Josh Allen arm right now. I agree with that. That's a very good way of putting it, because I really do feel like Malik Willis's strengths are literally his arm and his mobility. So I see exactly he's a Josh Allen with a Jalen Hurts mindset. JoJo Damon, linebacker out of Nebraska, is a playmaker. He's good. He's looking like a day 3 guy. He's been moving up boards lately. A lot of people are saying that he's like pretty NFL ready. He's quick. Nebraska, that's one of those schools that they build guys like him. Like I'm pretty sure they have a lab of guys like him. We'll see if it translates to the NFL. He's somebody that's pretty far down my list, though. I mean, like, I'm talking day 3. Like, I'm talking day 3. I like him though. He's definitely a good name. Definitely a good name. And I like that people look that deep, to be honest, because I think he's like number 9 or number 10 ranked linebacker right now, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm surprised that name even came up. Now, I really do feel like, and that's a good proof right there, Stu's Vision. Let me shout out everybody. Stu's Vision in the building. Be-Mo Careful in the building. Dank in the building. Michael in the building. What's going on? Jinx in the building. Who else we got in here? Carlos always in the building. What's going on? Ref Taco in the building. But I think if you look at this draft, man, there is depth. There is a lot of depth at the positions we need, and that's all defense. I've seen a lot of people saying we should go after a wide receiver. I've seen Drake Jackson going off to us, or Drake London, excuse me. Drake Jackson's another defensive lineman. That's really good. But I've seen a lot of different wide receivers going to us. I don't really want to go wide receiver. I mean, I know that probably is a very unpopular opinion. I say go sign somebody. You got the money, go sign somebody. I've seen people saying Juju might end up in Philly. I'm seeing, obviously, we would love to have a Calvin Ridley. We would love to have Devontae Adams, if that could ever happen. But go sign somebody. We don't need another rookie wide receiver. I love what I have in Quez. I love what I have in Devontae Smith, obviously. And boom, you have 2 very good wide receivers. If you want to add somebody that can start over Quez, or even start over Devontae and Quez, and kind of lighten their load and give them even more of a free run to development, then I'm cool with that. But hey man, I'm not going crazy for nobody that's not defense right now. I think that Eagles fans need to keep our sights and keep the pressure on this organization. Don't give them no type of outs. We have to go defense. The offense is at the very least young. If you don't believe that Quez Watkins can develop, he's at least young. So you can say, hey, let's give him another year, see what's going on. You really think we keep J-Jaw? I don't think we keep J-Jaw. We shouldn't keep J-Jaw, but we don't need to keep J-Jaw. What did J-Jaw do this year? You know what I'm saying? What was J-Jaw? We could have realistically went the whole year without playing J-Jaw if we really wanted to. We were kind of just putting him out there because he was on the roster. So, I mean, at this point, like, I don't think we need to get any wide receivers in this draft. Go get yourself a vet. Rock out with Greg Ward. Re-sign him. You know what I'm saying? Rock out with him as, like, your fourth guy, fifth guy, whatever you want to do. Maybe bring John Hightower up. You just re-signed him to a futures deal. Bring him back up. You know, there's options that don't start with J-Jaw and don't start with Jalen Reagor. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm all about it. J-Jaw should move to tight end. Especially seeing that, you know, Tyree Jackson breaking his, you know, tearing his ACL, which is just like I hate to say it like this, and I'm not trying to make a joke about it, but he has like literally the worst luck. Like, how do you have worse luck than that? Like, you were out all year with a back injury, and then you come in for a couple plays, score a touchdown, you're looking good, boom, right back out for the rest of the year. And who's to say when he's going to come back from that? And if he is going to come back from that, we might just say, all right, we tried, it just isn't going to work. He's just, you know, and we'll move on. So he said, believing in Howie is like believing in the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. Y'all must be crazy. I believe that there's a lot of ways for him to not mess up. I do believe that. And I believe that if he's willing to change up his philosophy a little bit, because I think that a lot of things that we've seen in this Eagles team as of late is a change of philosophy, whether it's how we've been running the ball more, whether it's, you know, how we even are giving Jalen Hurts his time. You know what I'm saying? Realistically, I would have never thought that at the end of the year we would be where we are. I thought that at some point these guys would push the panic button, but I think that they are really bought into this being a rebuild, and the best way to rebuild is to listen to your football people and listen to them when they're telling you that you got a guy out there. So we have 3 first-round picks. If he misses on all 3 first-round picks, he might be the most hated man in Philadelphia sports for a while, because, I mean, that's going to be really hard. Not only 3 first-round picks, you got him in the top 20 of a draft that doesn't really have any standout talent realistically. You know what I'm saying? Realistically, you have maybe 3 or 4 guys that are way ahead of the pack. But outside of that, I mean, you can get depth throughout this draft, and you can get starters in day 2. Same old recruiting theme with how we can't even build consistent high-level contending teams, but always want a QB. We're rebuilding every other year. I mean, how old are you? I mean, I don't know if you grew up throughout the McNabb era and stuff like that. Our rebuilding really only started after that, which is normal for a lot of teams. We went through purgatory until we saw Carson Wentz. Once we got Carson Wentz, we became a competitive team again, right? And we obviously won the Super Bowl. And to say we're not competitive, I mean, we've made it to the playoffs the past 3 or 4 years, right? So, I mean, you know, we're a competitive team. Are we a Super Bowl contending team every year? No, but who really is? Like, you know, we have to find that quarterback that's going to consistently bring us there. That's really what it comes down to. I don't want them to trade 2 first-round picks to move up. I feel we have a lot of holes to fill. I agree with that. 100%. I agree with that 100%. And how we trust after the Super Bowl, trying to keep that window open, what hurt the team. That's the truth. We try to hold on to a lot of older guys. What a lot of guys are suggesting we do right now with the quarterback situation and going after somebody like Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers is what we probably should have done in 2018. We probably should have just said, yo, you know, we don't think Carson really is that guy, or we should, you know, obviously it sucks to say it, but like, you got to make that decision. If we would have made that decision then, we might have been able to win another Super Bowl after that year. Because, you know, obviously Carson was what Carson was. He couldn't stay healthy, and we were just kind of going through that purgatory. So, I mean, who's to say if we would have made this decision a lot earlier, maybe we had the team to do that. But right now, we just don't. We have to get younger. Reed era was way before Howie. No, it wasn't. Howie was here the whole time, Papa. Howie was here the whole time, Papa. the past draft was solid with his first 5 picks. It was. But Howie's been on this been with this team for like the past 2 decades. He's been here for like 20 years. He's been here for a lot. He's been here basically as long as I've been watching football. So, I mean, they coincide. Obviously, when Reed was here, he had obviously more say in what happened. But, I mean, Howie was here the whole time. So, to say that we're not a consistent, competitive team under Howie Roseman, just to me is false. You can't say that. The past draft was, I read that. What's going on, Cal Bundy? Said, can't wait till the draft and see what second round bum receiver they let Howie draft out of some trash university. That's what I'm saying. We don't need a wide receiver. I really don't think we need a wide receiver. Howie was in the organization but didn't have the control he has now. That's true. But I mean, at the same time, he was still in those draft rooms. He was brought up through this. I mean, we're not. We as an organization aren't doing much different. It comes down to what Howie and Jeffrey Lurie want. Before it was Jeffrey Lurie and Andy Reid, but Howie still had say. Howie was always involved in the draft process. He always was involved. All his titles involved him in the draft process and player decisions. Outside of that whole Chip era, he's been the same guy basically, just with different titles. Should we pick Lindenbaum if he's available? Kelsey is gone soon. Brooks retired too. I mean, if you want Lindenbaum, that's cool, but I really do think that you can get another. Look, we have Stoutland, and I think that you give that guy a good player, he's gonna make him a great player. You know, you give him at the very least somebody that's willing to learn and willing to work. He's gonna make him into a good player. So I don't think that you need to go with a first round guy. If you see a linebacker that you want more, I know that's unrealistic, but if you see whatever it is, a defensive end that you really like more, I think that those positions right now hold more weight. In my opinion, I think that we have a good enough offensive line depth, and I think we have a good enough offensive line coaching staff to really make anybody work with what we need to do. So I don't think that we need to reach for him, but if that's the guy you want, that's the guy you want. Trusting Rager to make that jump? Nah. I'm kind of over Jalen Rager if I'm being 100%. Howie and Jeff Ways together are played out, washed up. Yeah, I feel you. There are a lot of things that I don't like about Howie and Jeffrey and how they run this organization. But at the same time, it's, there's franchises in far, far, far worse situations than we have been in the past 20 years. So while we can sit here and complain about a lot of things, and I'll complain there right with you, but we've been kind of lucky. We've been kind of lucky as far as fandom goes. I will say that. The Giants just hired an ex-Eagles as a new assistant GM. Who? Lurie also gave Chip Kelly control over the roster. Exactly. I mean, Lurie's not the smartest man in the world either. But I will always say, I know this is a very unpopular take on Chip Kelly. I don't think he was a terrible coach. I just think he was a terrible GM. Once he took over the team, it was just downhill from there. But as a coach, I mean, we were the healthiest we've ever been. Obviously, if he would have just stopped the no huddle offense in the NFL, I think he would have been way more successful. Draft NDSU wide receiver Christian Watson, 6'5", 208, runs a low 4.4, good hands and good routes, 3rd round. That's all I'll say about drafting a wide receiver. And look, I'm cool with that. If you want to find a guy, I think that there's a lot of depth. If I'm being 100% honest, I can find a couple guys, in the mid to late rounds that I feel like would be big steals for this Philadelphia Eagles team. But I just don't want to. I don't need to go after a sexy pick this year. Get all the ugly guys that are going to be in the trenches, that are going to fight on your defense for the next 10 years. That's what we need this year. I'm not going to lie, though. Malik Willis got a cannon. He definitely does. Malik Willis, that boy arm is crazy. But that's the thing. It's always on 10. That's the thing. I wanted to see last night or yesterday during the day, I guess it was, him kind of take a little bit off. I want to see those different level throws. Like every throw can't just be on a line. So I want to see if he can do that. I haven't really seen that even throughout the year. There were a couple throws, and most of them were deep passes. So I don't know. We'll see. We're going to need to be a young, competitive team, get great drafting. Yeah, we have to. This is the year you can do it, too. This is the year that you're financially and draft capital wise set up to go out there and get young guys that fit your culture, fit your team for the next 10 years. That's the biggest part of all this, the next 10 years. This is a very, very important draft. And I think that the Senior Bowl, to kind of encapsulate everything again, it showed you that there is depth. I do not think that there was many first round guys out there. There's a lot of, like I said, there's some guys that are late first rounds, you know, maybe mid at the highest, but like there's no premier guys out there outside of the quarterbacks, which we all know quarterback. I think like the best quarterback starts at like number 10 for me, if I'm being real, because they say that Kenny Pickett is probably the most NFL ready. I like what Sam Howell is. I think he's just a gritty guy. And I think he's always been who he is. You know, I hate on him because like this year he kind of fell off, but he's one of the only guys that has been who he's you know, touted as throughout this year and throughout his career. So I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm sure somebody will become the draft darling. It looks like it's being Malik Willis right now, but Michael DeJean says, would you trade Dillard and Rager for Calvin Ridley? In a second. If that's all it took. Even though I like Andre Dillard, I'm not going to lie, I love Andre Dillard. I think that, I don't want to say love, but I think that Andre Dillard, even as a depth piece, is a very, very good asset to have. But if he can bring you a Calvin Ridley, let's go. Jamarcus Russell and Ryan Leaf had cannons too, but they were bums. Yeah, it came down to mentality for them, right? Luck only goes but so far. I agree with that. Brandon Brown is the new assistant GM for the... Oh, wow. Getting rid of Shady, Foles, and Djax. Yeah, look, the Foles and Djax, it hurt my heart. It hurt my feelings, especially with all the lies that I feel like they were telling about him. Foles, that was weird. That was really weird because obviously he had a really good year, and then he had a, you know, kind of average year that he got hurt in, and we just moved on and went with Vic, but we were going with Vic, so it felt good. And then you had Shady. That just was where I drew the line. I was just like, oh, this guy's lost his mind. This guy has lost his mind. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got 25 people in here. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe if you are new. I'm back, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I know you can still probably hear the sickness in my voice, but you know what I'm saying? I don't care. We soldier boying it through. Larry's just in there ahead of it, funny. What do you think about Peterson coaching Jags now? I think it's going to be interesting to watch, man. I'm excited to see what he does with Trevor Lawrence. They don't have the best of teams, but look, you know, Jacksonville's a fun place to be. I used to live in Jacksonville for a couple years, for like 6 years. It's a fun place to be, so I'm excited for him. He deserves a job, man. He really did deserve a job. So if we fail, can we please move on from Howie for the love of life itself? I'm not against it. Even if we do good. I mean, it's crazy because I thought that this was his contract year. So unless they like signed a contract and nobody knows, they've been very quiet about his contract. Malik Willis threw for 11 yards yesterday and ran for 52. No thanks. Yeah, I mean, he's just not, you know, I don't know. It was a really weird game. None of these guys really had any time in the pocket. Like, these defensive lines were eating. Like, I want to be 100% honest about that. Like, these defenses were eating. Like, these offensive lines got beat up. I will say that much. But I will also say that it feels like defenses have the upper hand on stuff like this because offenses have to have timing. Offenses have to have cohesion. Defenses, if you have dogs up front, they're going to get there. You know, and I think that's what you saw yesterday. So, yeah, I know you like Sam Howell. If Pickett is there at 15, you think Howie would pull the trigger? I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Would you keep Fletcher Cox? Yeah, hell yeah. Why am I going to go Fletcher Cox? I mean, we're not going to save much money by him going, and we're not going to get the value back that he's really worth. So, yeah, I would definitely keep him. How's my favorite in this draft? Yeah, I know, that's your boy. Would you keep Nelson for $9 million per year? That's a tough, probably not, especially depending on what happens in this draft. If you're able to get even one cornerback in the first round, there's no sense in keeping him. And you have so many different cornerbacks on this team already. Don't forget you got Kerry Vincent Jr., you got Tay Gowan, you got Zach McPherson. You got a lot of guys on this roster right now. So I don't know. It's for that type of money. I don't think I could really talk myself into it. Hurts is a tough, gritty player. Yeah, he is. We'll see what happens. I like how he's got NFL traits, tough, gritty player. I think we could get Jermaine Jackson. Oh, Jermaine Jackson. My bad. Jermaine Johnson, have him fill the pass rusher role. Yeah, I mean, Jermaine Johnson's good. It depends on who's there. I've seen a lot of different guys. And, now people are talking junk about Kayvon Thibodeau. I think that's more of a ploy to try and get him out of the first top 5. But, you never know what happens come draft day. I think there's a lot of good defensive linemen. I'm not in love with any one of them, like, too much more than the other. I think that all these guys bring you something different. I think that first round, I wouldn't even be mad if they went for an inside D lineman. If somebody like a Jordan Davis falls to you, I would not be mad. I would not be mad at all. Or DeMarvin Leo, I know he's kind of a tweener. They're not sure if he's going to do, inside D line or if he's going to be a pass rusher. But, there's a lot of guys out here that can do it all. There's a lot of guys that I've seen with their hand in the dirt, in a 3 technique. I've seen them everywhere. So I like a lot of these guys that we have. Howe struggled passing this season. He became more of a running quarterback. You also got to look at his team, though. A lot of his team went to the NFL. A lot of his running backs went to the NFL. So his pass protection was a lot different than it has been over the past couple years. Are you ready for the XFL in 2023 and the USFL this April? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the USSFL, I'm the US, I can't say it. That one, though, I'm hyped for that because aren't they bringing back a Philly team? So I'm hyped for that because we're going to cover that. Why not, right? Why not? That's all I'm saying. I need a haircut. But yeah, he ran for his life. I agree with you, Dank. I ain't gonna cap. Dank Burrito's been on me talking junk. I don't want to say talking junk, but Dank Burrito's been one to keep hounding me about how he's kept saying that he thinks the Howe's good. So I kind of went back, and it is true. He's been good. It's just his numbers went down because of all these guys that left him. It is what it is. That's the tough part about college. Have you seen tape on Dalvin Cook's brother? I have seen. He hasn't. I don't feel like he had much production. Like, I don't feel, maybe I'm not seeing it, but it doesn't seem like he was that main guy. So there, it's sparing what you get to see, and he's coming in to spell people. But he looks good. I mean, he looks like a good balanced back. Looks like he's got good hands. He looks kind of bulky. I wouldn't say he's a spitting image of his brother. I know a lot of people are saying that. But he runs well. He runs the football well. I think he's one of the better pure running backs in the later rounds. If you're looking for 3rd round and beyond, I think he's probably one of the better pure runners of the class. But I mean, I'm not too in love with anybody. I think that I'm very fluid with this draft. Just get me a defense, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got 30 people. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe. You know what I mean? Hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'm hyped because I have way better internet here, and I'm looking down at my because StreamYard tells you how your internet's working. So I'm hyped because I've been seeing green, and I haven't seen this much green in a long time. Can you also do some Yankees videos? I could do that. My cousin's a big Yankees fan. I don't know if people have been watching my boy Ranting with Ruben. That's actually my family. So it was really cool to be able to have him on here. But he's a Giants fan. He's been helping me out with the draft stuff. Very knowledgeable, very, very knowledgeable about this draft stuff. So he's been helping me out with that. But maybe I'll talk to him. We can get some Yankee stuff going as well. His biggest improvement needs to be the pocket presence, and he tends to fire fastballs in the middle field throws. He has touch as well. That's the one thing I will say about Sam Howell. You've seen different levels of his arm. With Malik Willis, that's the biggest thing for me. Malik Willis, I did a whole video about him. Malik Willis is a project. If you're okay with that, if you're okay with him taking a year, then, rock out with it. Hey, you got yourself somebody that could be really, really good. You got somebody that could be Josh Allen-esque. Real talk. You really do. You realistically do. He's a big guy that can run, and he finishes plays like a running back, and he has the arm of Josh Allen. Like, that arm is crazy. So, I mean, and I know nobody wants to compare people, rookie. It's unfair to compare rookies to guys that are kind of already solidified, but that's where I think he can go. The Philadelphia Stars are coming back. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we're gonna have to cover that. This year, I want to do everything. I want to do baseball when it comes back. I was going to do basketball, but I'm really not that into basketball. Like, I can't sit here and watch basketball for a whole game and really, I'm sorry, until the playoffs come, I just really don't care that much. I don't know how I do it with baseball, if I'm being 100%, because there's so many games. But, like, I don't know. I could get more into baseball daily stuff than I can with basketball. Basketball, I don't know. I feel like a lot of them are just soft. I feel like a lot of these guys, and, you know, I am a Nets fan, so it's annoying to see what's happening with Harden. I think he's soft as hell. I think all these guys are soft. They're all divas. Let me not start. That's what Cowboys did. Yeah, and it sucks to say this, but we have to follow suit. We have to follow the Cowboys, you know, their path. They obviously don't know how to win games when it matters, so that's a little bit different, but we do. So, you know, if we can go out there and get us a defense, I think we'll be a very tough team to deal with next year, even if Jalen Hurts is our quarterback. I've said this before. If we run back this offense, if we can run this offense back, and get a little bit of production out of Jalen Hurts and our defense get better, it's over. I think it really is over. If we had a good defense this year, we're winning 10 games. I know that. Just know that. If we had a good defense this year, this past year that just left, we would have easily won 10 games. I mean, it is what it is. If I'm the Eagles, I'm going all in on this year's draft. I'm trading a second for a first next year to move up in this year in the top 10. I mean, I don't know what I would want in the top 10. If you go into the top 10, we need three guys in the first round. I've said this before. We need 3 guys in this first round. And the first 3 picks needs to be your 3 defensive marquee players. I need a defensive end. I need a cornerback or safety. I'm putting those together, but I need one of those guys in the secondary to be young stud. So I need a defensive end, pass rusher, and then I need a linebacker. I know it's not in your DNA. If you want to trade that 19th pick and get a first round pick next year, that's fine. I'm including your second round pick as one of your first round picks. Get me a Channing Tindall. Get me a Christian Harris. Get me a Nakobe Dean dropped a couple of times in a couple of these mock drafts that I've done. If he drops to the second round, grab him. You know, get me somebody, man. Get me one of these dogs, bro. Get me one of these dogs. We need it. I agree, Michael DeJohn, 100%. Not wasting first round pick on a project. We need starting caliber picks on defense. Get Hurts help in free agent, wide receiver, or trade. Herbert, I'm gonna say this. I don't think that it's I said this on Twitter. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna read it because I want to read and I want to ask y'all this question as well. I put this on my IG. I put this on my Twitter at PhillyTP. Be sure to follow me on both. But the question that I wanted to ask, all right, this is what I put up. I said Quez Watkins is nice. Devontae Smith is the best wide receiver we've had in at least a decade. We had historic spurts when we decided to run the ball. One of the most well-rounded tight ends in the game and arguably the best offensive line in the game. So what does give Jalen Hurts weapons mean? Because I feel like now we're just adding and adding and adding. And if you want to add to this team, that's fine, but it's not to help Jalen. Jalen has to make do with what he has. We have weapons on this team. It's up to him to get the best out of those players. So, you know, while Herbert, I'm not trying to call you out or anything like that. I wanted to bring that up because you made me think about it. What does that mean now? What does that mean? Does it just mean let's get this defense right? Because right now, that's what it means to me. To me, it means get a good defense that if you can't score us 20-something a game, all right, we definitely got to get rid of you, Jalen. But I think he can. I think Jalen can score 25, maybe 30 a game even so if our coaches are playing the right game plan. So, you know, I mean, give Hurts and or the next quarterback time. Yeah, you got to. Baseball is best after August. The wild card stretch is always down to the wire. We have room for defense in the middle rounds as well. Facts. Drafting a quarterback is basically saying to your young quarterback that just took you to the playoffs. He didn't take us to the playoffs. I hate when people say that. That we're starting from scratch and not trying to build in what we started. That helps how we need defense. First of all, I agree. I agree 100%. Look, unless you see that one of these guys are better. That's the only way. Like, if you're looking at Kenny Pickett and you're saying this guy's way better than what we have, he's the Carson Wentz talent-wise compared to the Jalen Hurts, and we want that. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But at the same time, you can't sit here and say that he brought us to the playoffs because a lot of the games that we lost were on him as well. You know, so when he loses, you can't say, no, it's because of this, it's because of that. But then when we get to the playoffs, oh, Jalen fought and clawed to get us there. I don't really buy that. At the end of the year, our defense was the reason we really were in most of our games. Jalen was having a really tough, first half in 90% of our games. So I just hate when people be like, Jalen brought us to the playoffs. Why would you leave? Like, it's more than just him. It was way more than just him, if I'm being honest. Jalen Hurts will take enough time. He can develop his throwing accuracy and read this field. Basics of fundamental. Yeah, I mean, he's got to do it. We talk about things that he's got to improve upon, but at the end of the day, he's got to do it. We're talking about the same stuff that we talked about early on in this year. Replay one of our lives, from back in the beginning of this year when we were talking about what Jalen Hurts needs to be better at. We're talking about the same stuff right now. So that's a little bit concerning. Why do people act like if we draft one quarterback, then we can't draft defensive players? We have 10 picks. That's how I feel too. If you want to get yourself a quarterback, I don't care. Just let's just make sure the rest is defense. Like, that's what I'm saying. If you want to get yourself a wide receiver, I don't care. Just make sure the rest is defense. I need to get defense. We need at least 70 to 80% of our picks to be defense. And we need at least 70 to 80% of our free agency to be about defense. Even if it's little, fill in hole players. Shout out to everybody in here, man. We're at 37 minutes. We got 30 people in here. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, man. Join the family. Let's get to 4K. I think we're like 6 away from 3,100. So we're only 906 away from 4K. So let's get it. Looks like Eagles free agents: Nate Herbig, Greg Ward, Derek Barnett, Alex Singletary. They're all signing with the Jags. That would be hilarious. They can't take Nate Herbig though. I need Nate Herbig. You can get everybody else. Maybe not McLeod. I wouldn't mind keeping McLeod. Maybe Singleton. I wouldn't be surprised though. Doug Peterson gonna have them all on ice cream. The Eagles are going to get Hurts, a premier big wide receiver target this offseason. I know that for a fact. Wouldn't be surprised, and that's cool. Is he going to utilize him? See, people make me talk junk because I feel like we all talk about how we have to build everything around Jalen. Jalen has enough. Jalen on his offense, he has enough. This is about the defense. And honestly, to me, I do not care who's going to be the quarterback next year. If Jalen's that guy, cool, he got to get better. If it's somebody else, cool, he better develop. This to me is about our defense. This to me is about the defense moving forward. Our offense is young. That's what we needed. Our offensive line is young and very good, in my opinion. Our wide receiving core is young. Our quarterback obviously is young. Our running backs are still young. Like, we have a young core on the offense. It's about building this defense now. Getting guys out there that can make plays. We just don't have that. None of them are better. In your opinion, Stews, I appreciate that. I mean, in your opinion, you don't think that any of these guys are better, but they're going to see something different. That's what they get paid for. They see something different. Honestly, we would have looked better against any other team in the playoffs than the Bucs. They are built to stop the run. Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's 110% a fact. But we stopped the run for them. They once they started scoring, it was a wrap. Our defense stopped our run. That's what it was. Not sure none of them are better. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Name one game Hurts lost, y'all. The Giants game. Like, for hell, like, did we score in the first half of the first Bucs game? I mean, like, let's be honest. What do you mean? He's lost us a couple games. And even the games that he won us the games, with the defense held them to what? 17 points, 10 points, 13 points. Like, okay, yeah, you should be able to score 20 points against the Giants. You should be able to score 20 points against the Jets or whoever you're playing. I mean, come on. Like, let's be 100% honest here. And I don't hate Jalen Hurts. It's just we got to understand that not everything's about him this year. This is about building the team. There's some guys who already know how to read the field and throw accurately downfield. Yeah, consistently. You know what I'm saying? If you put Sam Howell in Jalen Hurts' position last year, it would be interesting to see what would happen. I'm not saying he would do way better, but it would be interesting to see. It would be very interesting to see. It would be interesting to see Malik Willis throwing deep and seeing how many times Quez Watkins would have to stop running straight because the ball was underthrown if we had a Malik Willis. These are things that you have to be honest about. These are things that happen consistently. So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think that anybody's wrong. I don't think anybody's wrong about, you know, being upset about Jalen Hurts' development. I don't think anybody's wrong. And I don't think anybody's wrong to say that he doesn't need more people. I don't. He needs another wide receiver to get open on a consistent basis besides Smith. Not enough from Quez or Rager. Hurts does have to improve on accuracy and anticipation. And he has to improve on seeing the guys that are open. Quez has been open a lot. Jalen Rager, while we hate on him, he's been open a lot. I mean, let's be realists. Let's be realists here. Dallas Goedert's been open a lot. The flat has been open a lot. Look, yeah, we can go back and watch the Gardner Minshew game against the Jets. The flat was open all game. And that was no different than what they were doing all the time. That's what, you know, this is the thing. We got to see everything. We can't just say, I like Jalen Hurts, man. You know, and I hope that he works out. But if he doesn't, it's going to be because of the reasons why I'm nervous about going all in on him. So it's not, you know, it's not hating on the man. It's just talk. It's just talk. Minshew would demand a trade and will be gone by the draft. The Eagles will draft a quarterback within the first 3 rounds, and they need to add QB talent to the room, even though Hurts will be QB1 in 2022. I can agree with that as well, especially if somebody like a Kenny Pickett or a Sam Howell falls to the second round, or even a Carson Strong falls to the second round, and we just pick defense, or we just pick 3 good players in the first round, or even 2 in the first round, I'm not going to be surprised when we draft a quarterback. I'm not. And none of you should be either. That's what we do. I think it's Brandon Graham who said it. You know, he said nothing's guaranteed, especially with Howie. You never know what's going to happen at that quarterback position. So that's 2 more targets for him to miss deep on. Bengals filled holes on their defense by free agency and then drafted their offense. Yeah, I mean, but we need to do the offense. If you hate it, then you're not seeing the truth. Yes, he needs to improve, but show me another young first-year starting quarterback that would still keep his teammates believing him. And like Hurts said, plenty. What is that? What are you talking about? Plenty. Like, what do you mean? He's a good leader. I give you that. He's a good leader, but he has a lot of things wrong with him. Saying that if you hate it, if you're not seeing the truth, what is the truth? That leadership doesn't win you football. I'm sorry, leadership doesn't win you football games. At the end of the day, it'll get your team to rally around you, and that's cool. That's very cool. But at the end of the day, talent is what wins you football games. Execution is what wins you football games. We have to drop that narrative of you're a hater if you disagree with him being our quarterback. That narrative is gonna ruin us as a fan base. That makes 0 sense to keep saying that as a fan base, just in my opinion. And I'm going to let y'all know my camera's probably going to turn off pretty soon. I'm not going to lie. We'll see. We'll see how long it goes. But when we say big target, it just means bailout for Jalen Hurts. It doesn't have... That's what I'm saying. Ernest, thank you. Ernest. Bam, 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 bam. Dude, that's what I hear, man. That's what I hear. When I hear a big target, when I hear a jump ball guy, I hear just a bailout. I hear just throw it up there and hope the guy gets it. I don't want that. Let's get some guys with separation. Let's get some guys that can open up the middle of the field. Let's get some guys that are going to take the top off the defense. And if we get those guys and our quarterback can't get them the ball, it's our quarterback's problem, not our wide receivers. We have to be realistic about this. You can't just pick and choose who your favorite players are on the team and say nothing's wrong with them ever. Like, we got to be realistic, man. Look at Eagles to trade back and get an additional second and 2023 draft pack for doing so. Definitely. I can definitely see that. Okay, here comes the emotional locker room stuff. I don't want Elam or Stingley, though. You're wild, Marianne. I don't want to say you wildin'. I don't want to say you wildin', Marianne. I miss you. You remember that? Y'all know that show? I can't wait till that one comes out. But anyways, Marianne, you wildin'. Stingley's a dog, man. Don't let these reports fool you, man. That boy is a dog. And Kaiir Elam is a dog too, and he's big, fast, and strong. Don't let these, you know, the recency bias throw you off. These guys are what they are, man. I'm telling you. They're gonna play for whoever gets the ball and helps them win. Exactly. Winning solves everything. Everybody loved Carson Wentz until they didn't love Carson Wentz. So, do I like JG's 2 high gap and a half scheme? I don't like anything JG really did last year, if I'm being 100% honest. But I'm going to give him, if he's going to be our defensive coordinator next year, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he didn't have the players. If we get good players this year in the draft and in free agency, then he's got to go. If he can't produce, we need a top 10 defense, top 10, top 5. I'm tired of having a middle of the road defense, soft defense. I'm tired of it. I am tired of it. I got to like shave. I keep getting hair in my mouth. That's my problem with y'all. Y'all want everyone on offense to step up individually, but Jalen needs to, he needs to get them more involved. The Eagles need 2 to 3 wide receivers to it. I don't know about all that. I mean, maybe 2 to 3, but not 2 to 3 starters. Like 2 to 3 depth guys. I feel you. I'm sure we will. Between the draft and free agency, and even undrafted free agency, we'll probably get 2 to 3 guys. We'll probably get way more than that, to be honest. I think we should draft a tight end too. I'm not against that. I'm not against that at all. We need to trade for Minka Patrick and Daniel Hunter and sign Jabril Peppers and Hassan Riddick. Maybe. I mean, we'll see what happens. I was expecting you in your fur coat. I got to get it. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got 40 people in here. I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man, for real. Because I know, usually my biggest fear for the YouTube channel, at least I should say, my biggest fear is not being able to be consistent. Because when I first started this, it was like daily, right? And then I know it kind of slowed down because I had to get a job. I'm doing work. I'm doing school. It was a lot of different things, right? And then like I got into this place and I'm like, all right, we're going back. We're getting back on this daily grind. But I'm back now. I got sick and everything, but I'm back now, man. Still a little sick, but people talk ish on Quez. I instantly stopped listening to. Quez had a great year, and that's with Rager being force-fed. Facts! That's what I'm saying. Quez is a dog, man. We got 2 very good wide receivers, in my opinion. I'm not opposed to getting quarterback, just not with number 1 picks. Need to build. I agree, Herbert. I agree with that 100%. Elam nor Stingley can or will tackle, bro. Tape doesn't lie. I don't want him. I'll give you that. Marianne, I'll give you that. I will give you. I won't say they won't. They can't very well. Like, all right, I did a video about all the, my top 3 guys, and Elam and Stingley are in my top 3. And then Andrew Booth. But no, it's not from a lack of willingness. I think that Stingley tries to just throw his body in there, and Kyer Elam, I think that he just thinks he's bigger than he is, and at the end of the day, you're still 200 pounds soaking wet. So, I agree with you. I really can't defend myself there. I agree with you 100%. But there's not a lot of